Bullshit.
Your life.
Nice. Yeah, I'm live, and Michael Andrew is heckling me. I'll say something. Oh, you should look at like the third book in the series. Bullshit.
Now, did I use Terry Henry Chronicles?
That was the winner. Do you like my subtitle for this? Is that an awesome subtitle? I just wanted to sound profound. It's actually, when I was a business consultant, I used that kind of language to sound profound. It doesn't mean anything, actually. Oh, nice! A freaking typo. Oh, and we're live for this, aren't we? Yeah. Fucking moron. Jesus. Well, like I told you earlier, this is the second time I've seen these slides. So, release strategies. Okay, I wrote a book on that based on my experience with 20Books 50K and also publishing some 100 and some books. And the most important thing you can do, and this is from experience, is manage your readers' expectations. People said, oh, a rapid release, I release at 99 cents. We've done all of that. We release books at 99 cents for the first week. And you cost yourself a lot of money, especially for those readers who are willing to pay full price for your book, because now they become super fans. You know what? If you offer them the book for 99 cents, they'll pay that, even if they're willing to pay full price. So we were undercutting a lot of our own sales. So then we started pricing it up to $3.99. Our regular price is $4.99. So we started pricing up to $3.99, and it was almost like an open rebellion. What the hell is this? So then, okay, hey, let's have a 99-cent sale on just one day to reward our super fans. To say, hey, hold on. It was also to help manage the Kindle Unlimited reads. So we publish it on Monday at $3.99, and those people who want to KU it, they'll KU it regardless. And those people who want to buy it at 99 cents, we have a lot of pensioners, and so they'll wait till Saturday. So we get kind of the best of both worlds. But that initial switch, managing the reader expectations of thinking that we publish books at 99 cents, a little bit of a misnomer, because we were trying to build that algo love and get that big rank and get a lot of additional push from Amazon. It's all okay, but what we did is we trained our readers to expect to buy our books for 99 cents. And that now you have to sell 7 of them to equal what one of them will sell for at $2.99, what you would get. So we didn't want to try to find 7 readers for each book. We wanted to find one reader willing to pay full price. So if you bump it up to $4.99, well, that's a lot of additional readers you don't need to find if you can find the readers who buy it at $4.99. And you can still put it on sale. That's okay. Because the one thing we did find was if you have a book at full price, and then 2-3 months down the road you put it on sale for 99 cents, nobody's miffed. If it's a good story, they're not going to be miffed. Oh shit, you should have told me you were going to put it on sale in 3 months and then I would have just paid 99 cents. No, they don't think that way. They paid $5 3 months ago and they enjoyed the story. It's water under the bridge. They really want the next story. So yeah, it's nice that this one's on sale, but. So that's what we mean with manage reader expectations. It's part of building your brand, and something from right up front. It's something you need to decide before you publish your first book. Who was I talking to? Romance. Where are you? Yeah. You haven't published your first book yet. Think of these things now. You're editing it. What is going to be your price? What's going to be the price of your next book, and how are you going to train your readers for what to pay you for your stories? This is something to keep in mind. Because once you do that, especially we published 20, 30 books at 99 cents. So we trained our readers really well to pay 99 cents for our books. Now, when we advertise them, we...
Almost day one.
What's that?
Almost day one.
Well, we did for a week. Oh, no. We did a few for a week. We did many on day one.
What did we ever do for a week? Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
Sidebar conversation. Oh, also one thing on the reader expectations, time between releases is so important.
Yes, and also, we were publishing a book a month. Each book was 60 to 70,000 words. Okay, now we trained our readers, expect the next book in a month or less. That's also an important safety tip. We, Terry Henry Walton Chronicles, we made an awful lot of money with that series. We published 6 books, and then I told Michael, I'm like, I need to take a break. I need to write this book in my old series that I promised my fans. That 1 month break when I published book 7 in the Chronicles, it sold just a little bit, and I was terrified. I'm like, oh my God, we lost all of our readers. Because they got the first 6 books in 5 months. And they were excited about that. Great, book 7. Oh, hey, it's been a month. I was like, well, I haven't started writing it yet because I had to write this other book. Nice.
Sucks to be you.
And then sucks to be me, yeah. 3 weeks later, we published the book, and all of a sudden, we only got it was grim. We only got 30 or 40% of the readers coming back. And we were killing it with reviews. Everybody was happy until I didn't give them a book in a month. And then book 8 came out, and now the readers started coming back. 9, 10 hit, and we had them all back. Because we have published 7, 8, 9, and 10 in 4 months.
Yeah, but you had a really long one.
Yeah, we had some really long books, 118,000 words, when the average book was 60 to 70,000. And that actually, out of that series, that's book 9. Book 1, we market the holy hell out of. That is barely ahead of book 9 in overall revenue for the series, because book 9 is 118,000 words.
And they got pissed. So reader expectations, 70,000 words. You did 120, and they didn't want to pay the extra $1.
Yeah. So that was, and the first comment we got was, book's too short. 118,000 words on the average is 60,000 for the books. Because we started our first blurb said 2 for the price of 1. Yeah, no, they really wanted the price of 1 because we tried to price it $1 more. No, they really wanted the price of 1. So this is the one thing I said: under promise and over deliver. If you promise a book a month, give them a book a month, and tell them how long that's going to last. Because what we told them is we're going to publish a book a month, and we did. And I published a book a month, but not in that series for right in the middle. I needed to take a break. So manage reader expectations. Let them know. And that was one thing. I put it in an author note, but it didn't really hit it hard. I needed to send out a newsletter saying, oh, by the way, I'm taking a break for a month to write this other book. So please jump into this other series and be ready for when this 3rd book comes out. Too much dessert, can't breathe.
I can speak for you.
The next bullet says, get ahead of the power curve. Okay, hope is a lousy strategy. Like I said, this is the second time ever I've seen these slides, so you have to give me some credit.
What the hell were you talking about?
I should have practiced. The power curve is getting in front of your readers. It starts with your brand. It starts right at the beginning of letting them know. Having a conversation and a relationship with your readers is incredibly important. So with your newsletter, I always share pictures of my dog, share pictures of what the subarctic looks like. Here's where I live. Yeah, crazy people live way up there. It was minus 37 when we left to come down here.
What's that in Celsius?
It was, that was about Celsius as well. Yeah, it's pretty grim. And when we got here, it was 40. So 77 degree Celsius difference in temperature.
We were just balancing it out.
What's that?
We were just balancing it out.
Yeah, that's right. The average isn't bad. One thing we did right away is we published a lot of books and we did soft releases, because we're constantly in front of the readers. But hoping one would go viral, hope is a lousy strategy. You have to make your own luck. So one thing we're doing differently now is a little bit harder launches. Okay, now that I have almost 2 months in between launches, adding more intentionality, such as my wife bought a wombat today. My latest series releases, book 8 will come out on January 13th, and I have a wombat as one of the main characters. So my wife bought a wombat stuffed animal, because you have those things down here. And I'm running a giveaway. I'll run a King Sumo. I'll start that tomorrow. And the readers, I asked them, hey, if I ran a giveaway with a wombat, stuffed wombat, would you enter? Would you like to? And we had over 100 comments of people who said yes. So the engagement. Now I've got 100 people. You know what that means? Target audience. To hit them with a cheap ad saying, oh, by the way, here's the giveaway. So they'll be expecting that book on the 13th. And we should get a really nice bump out of the gate, and it'll be at $3.99. We'll launch at $1 less than main price.
We modified that. Remember the whole pre-order full
Mhm.
price?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not on pre-order.
No, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that's a new twist. I don't know if you're talking to that later.
Yeah. I will.
Okay.
But this is not talking pre-orders. We're talking just really managing your reader expectations. Here's some terms I'll be using today. I use release, launch, publish, all as synonyms. I mean the same thing. Getting the book out there in front of people. Wide, if you are KDP Select, which is in the Kindle Unlimited program, then you have to be exclusive to Amazon. KDP is not KDP Select. Those are two different terms. So understand KDP is Amazon, but it's not exclusive, because that's Kindle Direct Publishing. All it means is you publish direct on Amazon. And then wide is you're at Barnes & Noble, you're Apple, Kobo, Smashwords, whatever you want, elsewhere other than exclusive to Amazon. Marketing, promotions, and ads are different terms. Marketing is the strategic view of getting your book in front of people. Promotions are generally when you drop your price, you have a sale price, and then, sorry, I'm having trouble breathing.
Want me to take this part?
Well, you've got as much experience with this slide as I do, because I just saw it.
But I can breathe.
But promotions, so drop it to 99 cents, do some paid newsletters, do some newsletter swaps. That's what I mean by a promotion. It's a surge in a short period of time for a book that's on sale. Ads are generally what you run all the time, whether the book's on sale or not. I run a lot of ads for full price books, and they do well because they're targeting people who are looking specifically for a certain book. And that's what Felicia talked about with keywords, ASIN targeting. So if you wrote a book that's kind of like The Martian, readers of Andy Weir's The Martian would like your book, then you target the holy hell out of that. And you might have to pay a lot, but if somebody searches The Martian and they've already read it, but they just want to see it again, and there's your book up on top, they might buy your book. And that's what you're betting when you run an Amazon ad. And if they buy it, great, it's full price. They're looking for that specific item, and usually they don't care about the price. Because you see, TradPub has set like $14.99 for an ebook price for a new TradPub release. So pretty much anything less than that looks like a bargain. And especially indie books are $2.99 to $9.99, because that's a 70% royalty rate. Because if you price a book at $14.99, but it's 35% royalty, you can price a book at $7.99 and actually make as much money. So that's what indies do, because we don't have to pay an agent rent on a Fifth Avenue office. So we can take all that. Front matter and back matter, that's in your books. The critical, and this is one thing that I don't have right now because I publish so many books. My back matter, the most important thing you can do is after the end, your last little bit of substantive material in your story, is you want to put, here's a link to the next book that you need to read. So after you publish the series, go back in and make sure you get those links. Give the people an opportunity to buy your next book. That's why people do pre-orders. You get that next pre-order in so you can put that link at the back of your book. Get the binge buyers, the binge readers, and after your book goes live, because what we were doing with the book a month was, hey, stay tuned, book 7's coming next month. And then we never went back. So it just says that book 7 is coming next month. For 3 years. So it's something that you need to put on your to-do list, is to go back in, even if you only publish a book a year, go back in and put that link. Give the people a chance to buy your next book, especially when the next book is available. And if it's on pre-order, then you need do nothing. Because after it goes live, that link is the same. So that's the benefit of a pre-order. And now you can do pre-orders up to a year. So there's really no excuse if you know when you're going to publish. And you can always early it up. And you get one chance a year to extend it for a month. Because they understand, hey, they aren't going to cancel your account if you extend a deadline for a month. Read through, buy through. Read through is if you're in Kindle Select. They read one book and then they'll read the next book. You get your KU page reads. And buy through is then they buy the next book. So you'd use all that to estimate your ROI for the series. Soft launch is you just write the book, publish it, and then write the next book. Hard launch is you do a wombat giveaway, is you let people know, hey, book's coming. You hit your newsletter. Hey, I don't have a book for sale now, but understand, on this date, the book's coming out. Even have a pre-order link. Get those pre-orders, and the way rank works is, at the point of sale, your book will get some rank. So they buy the pre-order today, it comes out in 2 weeks, you'll get that rank today, and then in 2 weeks, it's a subset. Something like, for every 20 pre-orders you get, it's like one sale. So you are going to get rank on that release. And if you have KU readers, now you're going to get all those borrows as your rank. And then also, you get all that money at one time. They don't pay until the book releases. So that's a nice bump. And one thing Michael determined was, let's release the book on the last day of the month, on the pre-order. You can always early it up. You get the money that month, which for cash flow now will get paid 2 months. 60 days from then, you're going to have that money in hand. And then you've got 30 full days of Kindle Unlimited to possibly earn a KU bonus. Because you want to give yourself as many chances as possible to make as much money as possible. If you have a book that's a total winner and a runaway, and you publish on the 21st, you're only giving yourself 9 days, and those are big 9 days. You get a lot of page reads, and then you look at the next month, and what if you only missed it by 1 million page reads? And 9 days, oh man, if I'd had that full 30 days, you might want to look at that, especially once you're starting to push 1 million page reads, 3 million page reads on a single book, or all your books. Maximize your opportunities. And then finally, we'll talk about rapid release, which is has varying definitions, but for us it means every 30 days, within that new release, Amazon new release window. Why do you need a strategy for releasing your books? And I say books, plural, because if you have one book, then you need to do an awful lot of marketing. If you have multiple books, then it makes it easier to market that and sell those as a series. Read through is where you're going to make your profit. Because if you have one book and you have a loss leader, do I need to explain the rest? If you have one book and it's a loss leader, you lose. You don't make money. If you have one book and it's a loss leader and then they read book 2 and book 3, Now you can make money. It's like free samples at the grocery store. They're losing money on those free samples unless you go and buy the Tim Tams, which of course you're going to do. If you get a free Tim Tam, you're like, man, you know what? It's been a while since I had some Tim Tams. We have learned a lot of lessons publishing over 100 books. So I'm sharing a lot of those with you. I've had some series fail spectacularly, and I've had some series do very, very well. Take the lessons from the ones that did well, learn more from the ones that didn't do well. You learn more from your failures than you do your successes. And Mal Cooper talked about that. Hey, lightning struck. Why? I tried to replicate that and I couldn't. How did she make $18,000 in 1 month off a book club? What's it take to do that again? And she said she didn't know, had other successes, but not in that way. So that's the one thing, we learn more from our failures than we do our successes. Don't do that, it doesn't work. I had a series called Monster Case Files. Spent a lot of money on it, did it up, didn't have the covers aligned, didn't have the blurb really right, but they were good stories. Sold almost none. So upside down to the tune of about $20,000 on that series. But it's a good series. So we pulled it down, put all new covers on it. Right now it's down. I'm rewriting each book. Not a lot of work, because they're 30,000 words each. A good book is a good book is a good book will always be sellable if you package it the right way. So that's what we're looking at. How are we going to repackage these? And we already put great covers on them with a theme across them. I think some of you folks have seen the new covers, and they are styling. They are top notch. Even Mark Dawson said these are nice covers. And that's his genre. You can always sell a good book. We mispackaged the first one. Okay, we didn't sell that, but we still have the good book. Just need to repackage it. Rewrite it a little bit, tweak it. And it's been repackaged. We just need to finish up the rewrites and it'll be good to go. So that's what I mean with a good book. Don't try to chocolate cover a turd. It's still going to be a turd, right? Unless it's Office Christmas party. You put anything in the lunchroom, the comment, they'll eat anything. You put chocolate on it. Yeah, you can't take me anywhere. How do you reach your readers in a way that resonates? Under promise and over deliver. There are people who, hey, I wrote one book in a month, so now I'm going to promise my readers a book a month for the next year. You might want to go every 6 weeks until you can write a book a month for a whole year. Don't promise something that is iffy, because life happens, and your readers will give you a benefit once. But if life keeps happening, and your one book a month is one a month, and then 6 weeks, and then 3 months down the road, you're going to lose your readers. So you're better off, and this is where you have to know yourself. If you think you're going to get distracted, but you're pretty sure you can do a book a month, tell them you can do a book every 2 months. Under promise, over deliver. Do not tell them a book a month if you're iffy on whether you can deliver. Your brand, this goes to your brand. Are you the person who says what you're going to do and then does it? That's what trust. You build trust with your readers. You tell them, here's the story. And then you let them buoy the story, saying, hey, I love this story. I love this character. I love the wombat. Over 100 comments on the wombat. Female wombat named Floyd. But that's keeping the readers engaged. One of the things that worked well for me was when I started co-writing with Michael, as I got introduced to his just-in-time readers. Those folks who volunteered their time to read the next book in his Cotherian Gambit series, looking for typos. Diligent, and they would do it in a day. And some folks liked my stuff, and they said, hey, we'd like to do this for you. I actually started this one. Remember school? Hey, you need to know this. The foot stomp means it's on the test, right? Don't they do that in Australia? Oh my God. All right, hey, that's an American thing. Good, way to bring it to Australia. Nobody got your joke. But building your brand, this is where you relate. Okay, do shows. I always do a Hawaii shirt as part of talking with my fellow authors. But for my readers, it's always have an animal in my stories. Justice. Always have characters do well, do the right thing. There's certain flaws. All the characters have flaws. Because I'm looking for how do we relate to the readers? How do we relate? And that's a craft issue, so whatever you do for your genre, make sure you understand what resonates most with the readers. And that's why we say you need to have a craft group in addition to 20 books to 50K. There's so many different genres. I think I had 53 different genres in 20 Books Vegas. So next year we're gonna have a drop-down menu because I had so many. I'm like, how do we sort? How do we find the science fiction readers, because they used all different designations for their genre. There's some 50 different genres. So we can't manage that because each genre is different. So you need a craft group, understand, get your readers on board and make sure those readers are in your genre. Genre equals marketing. So who are the greatest number of readers that will like your book? It doesn't matter. Everybody does mashup. So it doesn't matter if you have 3-4 different genres. What is the one that's going to resonate with the most readers? That's what you target with your advertising. Those are the people you go after. And then when you find them, as you wicker your ads and your keywords, then you leverage that, and now that's your genre. So genre equals marketing. Don't get wrapped around the axle in the mashup of genres. And when you find those readers, those super fans who love your stuff, those are the ones you embrace. And now I have 4 on my insider team. They will read anything I have on a moment's notice and give me feedback that helps me make sure that story is good. So my next release on the 13th of January, already thrown out some snippets, did the cover reveal as soon as I do the cover as soon as I have it. Some people sit on the cover, oh, I can't wait to show you my cover. Oh shit. I never say that because like, here's my new cover, just got it. And I have changed the cover too because of that early reveal, because people said, oh hey, it looks like this is what the story's gonna be about. And everybody jumps on, yeah, that's it. And I was like, that's not what the story's about at all. So I go back and say, hey man, I think we missed on this one. Tweak it up and then go back, but I always do a cover reveal as soon as I have the cover. Newsletter build. Your newsletter is one of your greatest marketing tools. And one thing that I did not do that I needed to right out of the gate is parse it. Make sure you identify which readers came from your books, from the back matter, and which readers came from newsletter builders. Where you do a group rope, you got 5 people, hey, let's all pimp it to our list and get more subscribers. Or you do a King Sumo giveaway, or you do a gift card giveaway, or whatever the other ways of doing a newsletter builder are. Make sure those people are separated from the folks who signed up out of your books. Because the ones who sign up out of the back of your books, those are going to be your super fans. They loved your story and they want to know more about it. So parse those people. And then one thing that Michael Anderle came up with based on his IT background is minimum viable product. For me, with my insider team, I will send them my news story at about 5,000 words. Here, what do you guys think? And then they look at it, say, I like it, I want to know more. Here's what I think is going to happen, which helps me because I'm still writing. It's like, okay, then I set it up well, because I can twist away from that, or I can deliver on that. But in either case, I'm ready for, here's what the readers will expect. So if it's something that's way out of bounds, then I need to change something. Either change the follow-on story or change the intro. And then I'll usually give them at the halfway point. hey, here's halfway through the story. Is it still what you expect? Do you still want to read more? So that's my minimum viable product, is making sure that the story is going to resonate with my target readers, because now I have them. I've got these 4 that are waiting at any point in time. The timing of releases, this is where you manage your reader expectations. You tell them what you're going to give them. We're going to give you a book every 6 weeks. We're going to give you a book every 2 months. We're going to give you 3 books over the next year. Let them know up front and deliver to that. If you have a longer time between your releases, you could do that with longer books. Michael released a book that was 180,000 words, and the readers gave him a couple months.
You took 8 to 10 weeks.
8 to 10 weeks.
Then we failed to hit it.
So the longer books, because they take longer to read. And these are whale readers. Some people read that book in a day or 2. But still, they're willing to go longer with a longer book. A 60,000 word book, they're expecting a book a month at that size. The longer the time between the releases, the more you have to market. And once you build your backlist, this is your opportunity, as Mal said, you promote the first in the series. She has 24 different books, or 24 different series. I have 17 different series. So I run a promotion on 1 or 2 different first in series every month. Always keeping those books in front of people, in front of potential new readers, trying to bring new readers on board. The shorter time between releases, the less you need to actively market, because your books are still in front of them. You're sending a newsletter, hey, new release. 2 weeks later, hey, new release. And this is the benefit of, you have a series that you're writing, and you have a series that you're collaborating on, because that doubles your productivity. Or could double, could add 25%, whatever it might be. But it increases the number of releases with your name on it. And that's, once again, that adds to the engagement. If you publish a book a year, you have to do a lot of marketing to make that worthwhile. I hope you all were able to watch Jamie Albright's presentation from Vegas, because that was how you do it. A model of making full-time money off a single book release a year. One of the most important things you can do is write down your plan. Too many people have a plan, but it's not written down, so it's easy to forget stuff. Write your plan, execute your plan. Adjust your plan, and execute that. Any questions about whether you should write down your plan or not?
What color?
Yeah. Look at the various opportunities in my book, Release Strategies. We talk about whether you do a newsletter swap, whether you buy a newsletter promo, like a Robin reads for me, a book Barbarian of science fiction. You always try to get a book bub. Always have a book bub pending, so you can get your add up your rejections. I'm well over 100 rejections now. I actually don't even have one pending right now because I've been kind of busy.
Romance writers, please ask him, at what number did he get his first book of acceptance?
I got it with my first book that I took wide.
What number?
So 68 tries for a book in KU, and I didn't get it. But I got it on the next one.
Oh, what number is that, Craig?
Yep.
I can't add that up.
It's yeah, you couldn't make this up, but that actually, this is true. I kept track. 69, lucky number 69.
Woo!
For,
Can we ask that question and ask anyone if they got it first vote?
Yeah, absolutely. Over here. We hate, both of you. 3.
mm-hmm. Oh, there's a lot of people getting KU books, and it's okay. Because there's such a preponderance of books, but it really is, it's whatever BookBub is looking to fill a gap on at the time. So that's why you need to constantly keep a book in front of them, because you never know what they're looking for. Because the day I got an international BookBub, well, the U.S. BookBub for science fiction was Heinlein's Starship Troopers. I can't compete with that. But they gave me the international instead, because US is that's the holy grail. That's a lot of money. International is cool. I mean, I made about a 3-to-1 ROI. I mean, I made my money back. It's easy enough. But the real money maker is the US. But then again, you pay for it too. I paid $200, I made $600-700 in a couple days. And brought new readers on board, so of course I was gonna do it. If I got the US, that would have been an extra $570 it would have cost me. I would still do it because I know I would make my money back. And that's 99 cents. I don't do free book clubs anymore. Apply. I got one book club that was free. Gave out 49,000 copies. Didn't even get number 1. Yeah, no kidding. 49,000 copies got me number 3 in the free store that day. What the hell did the other ones do?
70,000.
What's that?
70,000.
Yeah.
That's what
What genre?
that was thriller.
Thrillers, yes. Thrillers is big. Romance is bigger. Science fiction, 49,000. Okay, I'm good with that. So your plan. This is where you really become a publishing professional. You look at it not as, oh my God, everybody thinks my baby is ugly. No, it's a data point. When you publish a book, everything you get from that book is a data point. You revise, you refine, you improve your numbers by doing things for the low data. So what happened, and this is where my insider team is valuable. Was there something in the story you guys saw that you think maybe the other readers, can you ask some of the other readers if there was something in the story that turned them off? Because the big thing is, book 1 comes out, cool, sell 10,000 copies, way cool. Book 2 comes out, sell 2,000 copies, ooh, not so cool. Well, 2,000 copies, you make good money, but it's a 20% read through. What happened? Because you can sell one book, but if people aren't buying the second book, there's a problem with that first book. And it's a data point. It's not, geez, I suck and I should never publish. No, it's, I learned a lot. You learn more from your failures than you do your successes. But if you're actively trying, you have to actively work at it. You can't cave in and say, oh my God, I need to go back to a day job. What you need to do is analyze the data and understand where you can exploit to get better next time. It took me 13 books to make 10,000 in a month. How do you get things to work in your favor? Amazon will help you if you're successful. Well, how do you be successful on Amazon? And that's why you see people launch a first-in series at 99 cents. And a lot of ads, a lot of new paid newsletter promos. Because they're trying to get that love, they're trying to get those readers on board, they're trying to get Amazon to help push the book. Amazon, and that's also what we've learned lately, is that's weighted. So a 99-cent book that sells 1,000 copies is not as pushed by Amazon as 1,000 sales of a book that's full price of $4.99. So this is where you can't think, well, hey, 99 cents, or I'll get all these borrows and Amazon will love me. Amazon loves money. So if they can sell 1,000 books at $4.99 or 1,000 books at $99, which one do you think they prefer? So their algorithms will respond comparably. What can make Amazon the most money in a reasonable way? So if you've got 1,000 at 99, but then 10,000 people borrowed it, now you're going to move in front of the people who are charging full price and had 1,000 sales. So this is how you help yourself. Also, bots are critical while they're still there. Most of the people we've talked to think that they're going to eventually go away, and it's going to be replaced by paid ads. Because what you see is you have your original, you have your cover, you have the initial part of your blurb, the above the fold part of your blurb, you have where your book's available, and then the next line down is also bots. People who bought this book also bought because Amazon wants to sell more stuff. And they have a ready market. Hey, people who bought your book also went over and bought Michael Anderle's book. And you'll see his book, number 1, in your Also Bots. Cool. Click on that book and see if your book is in there. And that's what you want. You don't want to say, hey, look, I'm in all these other people's Also Bots. Maybe you want to be on that first page of Also Bots. So this is the important thing, because I went through one of my books, I'm like, great, look at these. I've got a nice myriad of Also Bots. I went to all of them. Only one was on their first page of Also Bots. So it's like, okay, I need to work harder at this and get them to promote my books as well. And that's where you're gonna, because that's free advertising at that point, and you'll see eventually that's gonna go away, I suspect. Shorter books versus longer books. Readers, our initial target was 60,000 words, and right now we're seeing that the longer books are doing much better. Amanda Lee, she is going to go with longer and longer books because just the revenue. She said the difference between a 90,000 word book versus an 80,000 word book, she can make an extra $100,000 a year.
Also, 100% of the people read book 1.
Yeah, and a profound statement. 100% of the people will read book 1. If you write a series, you're going to advertise your book 1 because you want to buy book 1, love it, and then buy book 2, 3, 4, and keep going. So everyone, that's your baseline number. So if you sell 10,000 copies of book 1, you're going to sell fewer of book 2. Just understand it's going to be a subset of a subset. So 10,000 book 1, book 2, you're not going to sell 10,500 copies of book 2. We had one that was an anomaly. Was it Executioner? Bad Company? It was one of those two. We sold more copies of book 2 than we did of book 1. It was really bizarre, and we didn't understand the data. And we're still looking at the data, and it still says we sold more book 2 than book 1. But what you want also is a step on your chart.
Yeah, income.
Your income chart. Yeah, the money, the most important thing. So as you release book 2, you want people saying, hey, now I want to buy book 1 and book 2. So you should see that your sales of your book 1 go up with each new release. And that's a value. But book 1, especially if you're in KU, if you can make that a little bit longer, you can test the water with a 30,000 word book. But if you've got a full story at 70 or 80,000 words, 70 or 80,000 words in book 1 will make you more than 30,000 and then 80,000 in book 2. Because book 2 is a subset of book 1. You want a longer tail of sales, and what this means is you want a full week of consistently high sales. So if you do newsletter swaps, don't do them all on one day. If you do a sale, do it for 5 days. If you do a countdown deal, do it for 5 days. And then stagger your promotions. Because Amazon will give you more love and more rank love and more visibility if you're consistently high sales, as opposed to one day of 1,000 sales and the next day you got 15. Every day, and then all of a sudden it'll start appearing. Also, but now you'll show up on people's Also Bot's first page, and that's important. It's free advertising, it's free promotion, and one of the best data points on that was last year in August. Amazon was A/B testing new systems, and they removed Mark Dawson's Also Bots. He lost over $25,000 that month with everything else being identical. July, August, September. The difference was in July and September, his Also Bots were there, but in August it wasn't. He lost $25,000 in revenue for that month. Free advertising, free pushes. Michael did this with the big book release, 3-in-1, because what we saw is if most readers get to book 3, they'll keep reading your series. So Michael said, I'm going to put book 3 in book 1. So book 1 was books 1, 2, and 3. And then see where they were. And those have done very well, but the challenge there is you need to know that the books are good. And Michael Anderle has published enough books that he knew those books were good. They're going to make their money back. If you don't know, if you haven't published before, this isn't a strategy you might want to adopt, because it takes a long time to write a 180,000 word book, And if you don't know it's going to work, that could be a huge flop. But you save money because you only have one cover instead of three, but everybody buys book one. That could be good revenue.
What's the difference between that and just a big book?
It's 3 stories. What's the difference between that and a big book is it's 3 stories. Epic fantasy is 1 story.
Yeah.
You can break it apart.
Yeah. We got some other revenue streams, and I'm almost out of time. And you always want as many revenue streams as you can. People say, well, KU, you've got all your eggs in one basket. Kind of. Because you can also do Patreon, you can also do audio, you have paperbacks, you can do direct sales, you can do short stories and anthologies. There's a lot of other things you can do to drive revenue, even if you are in Kindle Select. Kindle Select can be 80% of your revenue, but you still need those other revenue streams, whether it's affiliate links or anything else to bring in revenue. Whether you're writing magazine articles, writing stories for money. Did I do rapid release anywhere? The bottom line, your readership is gold. You have to engage with your readership. If you don't have a newsletter, you have to do it some other way. Because there are people without newsletters, but they're very active with their blog. So the readers will come over there every day and look, and you have new material. New material for readers is key. Facebook is easy because you hop on, you post a picture of your dog or your cat, and say, oh, look at this, in the sunshine, loving it. And keep your readers engaged. And what that does, especially if you have a group page where you advertise, this is your lookalike audience. So one thing I've been doing on my author page, for my fans, is I publish a little article, hey, here's a movie I like. And I've done, probably 120 so far. And all those people, they like it, I get 50, 70 comments. Anybody who comments, hey, now you're actively an FB target to be advertised to. So that has helped immensely for a lookalike audience.
Can you talk real quick about a Facebook page versus a Facebook group?
Yeah. Okay, a Facebook group, the benefit of a Facebook group is your fans can post and they'll see it. A Facebook page, this is what you can advertise from because you can add a credit card to it, and your fans can post, but you have to approve it, and they won't necessarily have direct access to publishing on your page, but they can comment, and off that page now you can gather the lookalike audience part, as opposed to a group where it's a group of folks doing something. So like 20Books 50K, I could not take those members and say, target these. But from my fan page, I can. You want to stay relevant? So even if you only publish a book a year, you still need to stay in front of your fans somehow. Whether it's you publish a newsletter once a month saying, hey, hi, how are you? Here's a giveaway, giving away a stuffed wombat that I bought in Australia, and buy my next book. Without the buy my next book part, it's just like, hey, what do you think? Asking questions is important. Keeping your readers engaged, having a conversation with them. Because I'll get a message or something, it's like, oh, hey, thanks for finding that typo. And they're like, oh my God, you answered. It's interesting to get those kind of responses. Getting reviews. I used to worry about reviews, and then I realized that they weren't driving sales. The excitement of the readers were driving sales. And whether it's on social media or in a review where a reader's excited, this is where you're going to make your money. And especially if they're actively engaged on your Facebook page, now you can target them and really hit them with the 7 nose touches. 7 times they see an ad before they act. So if they're used to seeing Craig Martelle on a movie, Craig Martelle in a book, then hopefully we've hit them 7 times, and when we have a new book, they consider buying it. Blurb is important. Blurb sells the book. Cover gets them to look, the blurb sells the book. And the blurb above the fold is where you want them to get 1 click. Because every time they have to keep clicking, you lose about 30% that fall off and don't click beyond that. So if they have to keep reading on the blurb, you really want that home run in the first 5 lines. So they look at it and say, oh, hell yeah. Love the cover, oh, hell yeah, click. And those are the kind of reviews I like. This is a 1 click. This was a 1 click buy. and give them a reason to keep coming back. I published one book, and I might publish another one if you guys like my book. That's not the way to treat your readers. You keep giving them books because I expect every one of you have an unlimited number of stories in mind. Keep telling them. Don't stop telling stories, no matter what else you do, because that's one thing that ties us all together. Alrighty then. Sorry I couldn't breathe. Sorry for the breathing into the microphone. I went over. But there's a lot more in my book on release strategies. Hopefully this touched the high points and I didn't kill people after lunch.
And just to be fair, he's put it on sale for 99 cents basically these books were done to help 20 Books people not have to go through a bajillion comments inside the Facebook group. So your ebooks are 99 cents today?
Yeah. Today and tomorrow. But we do that for 20 bucks at 50K. It's okay, 99 cents, whatever. It's about giving back, and like I said earlier, I challenge each of you to give back, because no matter where you are on your journey, you're ahead of somebody else. And even if I don't have my first book published yet, but I'm editing it, well, at least you wrote the book. And that's way better than all those people said, I always wanted to write a book, and I never do. You're top 1/10 of 1% of people who said, I always wanted to write a book. Because most people don't. Because they'll write 5-10 pages, and then all of a sudden they'll realize, hey, this shit's hard. You keep going. You write to the end. It's like, hey man, I wrote a whole book. And as I wrote, and all of a sudden my first book was done. I'm like, man, it's done. 100,000 words. My first book was 100,000 words. I wrote in 61 days. Got into telling the story. I gave myself 12 hours a day to write 1,000 words. That was my first book. I'm like, okay, I retired from the Marine Corps. I retired from business consulting. And my target was 1,000 words a day. And I gave myself 12 hours a day to do it. And I didn't always hit that target. But you know what? I learned. And I got better. And this morning, I got 2,000 words in less than 2 hours. After 4 million words, you kind of figured this out. All right, thank you very much. Give it 15 minutes. Be back at about 25 till. Thank you.